While the alien fleets gathered around Earth's solar system confident in their overwhelming numbers, something extraordinary was happening on the planet below. The 7-day countdown had begun, but instead of panic or desperate negotiations, Earth had transformed into something the aliens could never have imagined, deep beneath the mountains of Korea, in a facility that officially did not exist. Dr. Minho stood before a massive holographic display showing technical blueprints that seemed to defy the laws of physics. His team of scientists worked frantically at stations filled with equipment that hummed and glowed with strange energies. The beautiful thing about human nature, Dr. Minho said to his colleague Dr. He-jin, is that we never stop at just one of anything. When we invented fire, we did not stop at one flame. When we built the first computer, we immediately started building better ones. Dr. He-jin nodded as she adjusted controls on a device that looked like it belonged in a science fiction movie. The aliens think they know our technology because they have seen our public military displays. They have no idea what we have been building in secret. Around them, dozens of scientists and engineers worked on projects that had been theoretical just days ago. Weapons that could bend space and time, shields that could make entire planets invisible, engines that could move ships faster than light itself. All of this technology had been developed using principles learned from studying alien artifacts over the past 5 years. On the other side of the facility, engineer Dong Hyun supervised construction teams working on something that looked impossible. Massive ships were being assembled in underground chambers carved directly from solid rock. The ships were sleek and black with no visible weapons or engines, yet they radiated a sense of power that made everyone who saw them step back in awe. "How many are ready?" Dr. Minho asked as he joined Dong Hyun at the observation window. 12 of the new class vessels are complete. Dong Hyun replied, "Another 30 will be finished within 6 days. The alien fleets have no idea what is coming for them." These were not the military ships the aliens had catalogued in their intelligence reports. These vessels had been built using technology reverse-engineered from every alien device humanity had ever encountered, enhanced with human innovation and powered by energy sources that should not have been possible to create far above the secret facilities in orbit around Earth. Captain Ye-jin commanded a fleet that existed in the shadows. Her ships were invisible to alien sensors, using stealth technology that bent light and energy around them like water flowing around a stone. For months, her reconnaissance vessels had been mapping alien territories, gathering intelligence that would have shocked the Galactic Senate. "Status report," she said to her communications officer. "All recon teams have reported in, Captain. We have complete tactical data on 47 different alien species, including fleet positions, defensive capabilities, and command structures. The aliens know nothing about our presence in their space." Captain Ye-jin smiled as she looked at the tactical displays showing alien ships positioned around Earth. The enemy commanders thought they had achieved tactical surprise. Instead, they had walked directly into a trap that had been 5 years in the making. On Earth's surface, the transformation was even more dramatic. Farmer Jae-sung walked through his wheat fields, checking on crops that looked perfectly normal to any observer. What the aliens monitoring Earth could not see were the missile silos hidden beneath the golden grain. Each silo contained weapons that could strike targets anywhere in the solar system. In the city of Busan, factory worker Eunmi switched her assembly line from producing household appliances to manufacturing defense drones. The change took less than an hour. The same machines that had been making refrigerators and washing machines now produced military equipment with precision that amazed even the human engineers. "Every major city has hidden production facilities," General Tae-min explained to Admiral Seung-ho during a secure briefing. "What the aliens see as civilian infrastructure can be converted to military purposes within hours. We have been preparing for this possibility since first contact." The aliens had made a fundamental error in understanding humanity. They saw Earth's official military forces and assumed that represented the planet's total defensive capability. They did not realize that every human adult had received basic military training, that every major city contained hidden weapon systems and that the planet's entire industrial base could switch from civilian to military production at a moment's notice. In schools across Earth, teachers like Da Min revealed their true identities to students who were not surprised at all. The children had known for years that their teacher was actually a military strategist. The students themselves were not ordinary children, but young engineers and scientists, trained from birth to serve in humanity's defense. Class dismissed. Da Min announced, "Report to your real assignments, everyone knows what to do." The students filed out calmly, heading to command centers, laboratories, and communication hubs hidden throughout the city. What had looked like an ordinary school was actually a training facility for the next generation of human defenders. President Ji-won stood in the Situation Room, beneath the presidential palace, watching displays that showed Earth's transformation. The planet looked the same from space, but every major population center now bristled with defensive systems. Every orbital platform had revealed hidden weapons. Every trade route had become a military supply line. "The aliens demanded our complete disarmament," she said to her assembled advisors. "They want us to destroy our weapons and submit to their oversight. What they do not understand is that humans do not have weapons, we are weapons." General Tae-min activated another display, showing global military readiness statistics. Every able-bodied adult is now at their assigned battle station. Every critical facility is protected. Every potential target has multiple backup systems. The aliens think they are facing a civilization. They are actually facing a species that has spent its entire history learning how to survive impossible odds. Admiral Seung-ho added his own report. "Our deep space assets are in position. Captain Ye-jin's stealth fleet has eyes on every major alien installation. Our new vessels are ready for deployment. The enemy has no idea what they have stumbled into." Intelligence Director So Young presented the final piece of the puzzle. "Our analysis of alien communications shows they are confident of victory. They believe humans will surrender rather than face destruction. Their fleets are positioned for intimidation, not for actual combat. This gives us a significant tactical advantage." President Ji-won nodded as she reviewed the reports. Earth had 7 days to respond to the alien ultimatum, but humanity had been preparing for this moment for 5 years. The aliens thought they were forcing a weak species to submit. Instead, they were about to discover why humans had survived every challenge in their planet's history. "Send a message to Ambassador Hyunwoo," she ordered. "Tell him to prepare for the most important diplomatic presentation in human history. In 6 days he will return to that Senate chamber and show them something they will never forget." As night fell across Earth, the planet looked peaceful. From space, cities glowed with warm light. Ships moved slowly through busy harbors. Children played in parks while their parents worked in offices and factories. But beneath this calm surface, something extraordinary was stirring. Humanity was waking up. The aliens had threatened Earth's children, and now they would learn what happened when you cornered the most dangerous species in the galaxy. The species that had clawed its way from primitive caves to the stars in just a few thousand years. The species that turned every challenge into an opportunity and every threat into a reason to become stronger. In 6 days, the Galactic Senate would reconvene to hear Earth's response. They expected surrender negotiation or desperate pleading for mercy. Instead, they would witness something that would change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. They would see what humans really were when they stopped pretending to be civilized. The massive doors of the Galactic Consular Senate chamber opened with a deep rumbling sound that made the floor shake. Ambassador Hyunwoo walked through them with steady steps. His black formal suit looked plain compared to the colorful robes and strange outfits worn by the alien delegates around him, but he carried himself with quiet confidence. The chamber was enormous, bigger than any building on Earth. The ceiling stretched so high it disappeared into shadows. Hundreds of different alien species filled the seats arranged in circles around a central platform. Some aliens floated in glass tanks filled with glowing liquid. Others stood on mechanical legs that clicked against the metal floor. A few hung from the ceiling on long tentacles that swayed back and forth. Hyunwoo had been Earth's ambassador to the Galactic Senate for 3 years now. He had seen many strange sights, but this gathering was different. The air felt heavy with tension. Every alien eye tentacle or sensor was focused on him. The usual chatter and noise of the chamber had fallen silent. At the center of the platform stood the Senate leader, a tall crystalline being whose body looked like it was made of living diamond. Light flowed through his transparent form, creating rainbow patterns that shifted with his emotions. Right now, those patterns were dark red and orange colors that Hyunwoo had learned meant anger and determination. Human representative. The Senate leader spoke in a voice that sounded like wind chimes mixed with breaking glass. You stand before the united species of this galaxy. We have reached a decision about your kind. Hyunwoo nodded politely. I am here to listen, honored leader. The Senate leader raised one of his crystal arms, and suddenly the chamber filled with holographic images. The displays showed Earth cities with their gleaming skyscrapers and busy streets. Then the images changed to show human military bases, space stations orbiting Earth, and fleets of warships patrolling the solar system. Look at what your species has built in just 50 years since joining the galactic community. The Senate leader continued, weapons everywhere, ships designed only for war, defensive systems that could destroy entire planets. Your people turn everything into tools for fighting. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Alien voices clicked, whistled, and buzzed in dozens of different languages. Hyunwoo caught fragments of translation through his earpiece. The aliens were afraid, that was clear. They had been watching humanity, and what they saw scared them. A delegate from the Vega system stood up. His blue skin glowed with bioluminescent patterns. Humans build weapons faster than they build schools. They have more soldiers than teachers. Their children play war games before they can walk properly. Another alien, this one, looking like a giant insect with multiple arms, gestured wildly. Every human colony we visit has military installations. Every trade ship they send carries hidden weapons. Every gift they offer has dual purposes. Hyunwoo listened to the accusations without changing his expression. He had expected this moment would come eventually. Humanity's rapid expansion and military buildup had not gone unnoticed. The aliens had been patient, but patience had limits. The Senate leader waited for the chamber to quiet down before continuing. Your species represents a threat to galactic peace. We have seen worlds destroyed by aggressive civilizations before. We will not allow it to happen again. The holographic displays changed again, now showing massive alien fleets positioned around Earth's solar system, hundreds of ships from dozens of different species, all aimed at humanity's homeworld. The message was clear. Therefore, the Senate leader announced, the Galactic Consular Senate demands the complete and immediate disarmament of the human species. You will destroy all military vessels, dismantle all weapon systems, and shut down all defensive installations. The chamber erupted in noise as aliens chittered, roared, and sang their approval. Hyunwoo remained perfectly still, letting the sound wash over him. He had been prepared for this possibility, but hearing it spoken aloud still sent a chill down his spine. Furthermore, the Senate leader continued, raising his voice above the din. Earth will submit to consular oversight. A joint alien administration will be established to ensure human compliance with galactic peace standards. Your species will be restricted to your home system until you prove you can be trusted. Hyunwoo finally spoke, his voice calm and clear. And if Earth refuses these demands, the Senate leader's crystalline form flashed bright red, then you will face the consequences. The combined fleets of 47 species surround your system. They are prepared to act if necessary. The threat hung in the air like a toxic cloud. Hyunwoo looked around the chamber at the hundreds of alien faces staring at him expectantly. They wanted to see him break, to see him beg for mercy or frantically try to negotiate. Instead, he did something that surprised them all. He smiled. It was not a nervous smile or a forced diplomatic expression. It was genuine calm and almost amused. The aliens in the front rows shifted uncomfortably. They had expected fear, anger, or desperation, not this quiet confidence. How long do we have to consider your generous offer? Hyunwoo asked. 7 Earth days. The Senate leader replied, "That should be sufficient time for your leaders to see reason." Hyun-woo nodded slowly. 7 days? Yes, that should be enough time. I will deliver your message to Earth immediately. He turned to leave, but paused at the edge of the platform. Before I go, honored leader, I have one question. Speak. In your research on human history, did you study what happens when someone tries to corner a dangerous animal? The Senate leader's light patterns shifted to confused swirls of green and blue. What do you mean? Dangerous animals become most dangerous when they have no escape route, Hyun-woo explained. Humanity has never considered itself particularly dangerous. We build weapons because the universe is full of threats. We expand rapidly because we have learned that standing still means dying. But if you want to see what humans do when they truly feel threatened. He paused, looking around the chamber one more time. Well, I suppose you will find out in 7 days. The chamber fell silent again, but this time the silence felt different. It was not the expectant quiet of predators watching prey. It was the uncertain stillness of creatures who had just realized they might have made a terrible mistake. Hyun-woo walked out of the chamber with the same steady pace he had entered. The massive doors closed behind him with a final rumble that seemed to echo through the entire station as soon as he was out of sight. Hyun-woo activated his personal communicator. The device looked like a simple wristwatch, but it contained quantum encryption technology that could send messages across the galaxy instantly. Control. This is Ambassador Hyun-woo, Priority Alpha message for Earth Command. The package has been delivered. The aliens have just made the biggest mistake in galactic history. The response came immediately. Copy that Ambassador message transmitted to Earth. Are you safe? For now, Hyun-woo replied. But I suggest you tell everyone back home to prepare for visitors, the unwelcome kind. He made his way through the station's corridors toward his private quarters. Around him, alien civilians went about their daily business, unaware that their governments had just declared war on humanity. In 7 days, they would learn what that decision would cost them. Back in the Senate chamber, the delegates were already arguing among themselves. Some wondered if they had been too hasty. Others insisted that humanity needed to be stopped before it was too late. None of them noticed the small device that Hyun-woo had left behind, a listening device, disguised as a simple pen that would record every word they spoke for the next 7 days. On Earth, President Ji-won received the message in her office overlooking the rebuilt city of New Seoul. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and red that reminded her of the Senate leader's angry light patterns. She read the report twice before calling her advisors. It seems our new neighbors have decided to test us, she said to the assembled group. They want us to surrender everything that makes us human, our ability to defend ourselves, our right to expand our freedom to choose our own path. General Taemin, head of Earth Defense Command, stepped forward. Ma'am, we have contingency plans for this scenario. Good. President Ji-won replied, because the aliens are about to learn something important about humanity. We do not surrender, and we do not bow to threats. She turned to look out at the city below, where millions of people lived their lives in peace, unaware that their entire species had just been threatened. Activate Protocol 7, she ordered. It is time to show our galactic neighbors what humans do when cornered. 7 days had passed since the ultimatum, and the Galactic Senate chamber buzzed with excitement as delegates from across the galaxy gathered to witness humanity's surrender. The alien representatives filled their seats with confident anticipation, chattering among themselves about how they would divide up Earth's territories and resources once the humans submitted. Ambassador Hyun-woo walked through the massive doors exactly as he had a week earlier. But something was different about him. Today he carried himself with the same quiet confidence, but there was something in his eyes that made the nearest alien delegates shift uncomfortably in their seats. It was the look of someone who knew a secret that would change everything. Senate leader stood at the center of the platform, his crystalline form glowing with satisfied orange and gold patterns. He had spent the week imagining this moment when the dangerous humans would finally be brought under galactic control. His fellow leaders had praised him for his decisive action in dealing with the human threat, human representative. The Senate leader announced, his voice carrying clearly through the chamber. 7 days have passed. Has Earth complied with our demands? Hyunwoo walked to the center of the platform and activated a holographic projector he had brought with him. The device was different from the standard Senate equipment, sleeker and more advanced. Several alien technicians in the chamber noticed the difference and began whispering among themselves, honored leader and esteemed delegates. Hyunwoo began, I have indeed brought Earth's response to your ultimatum, but first I would like to show you something. The holographic display activated, and suddenly, the chamber filled with images that made every alien in the room freeze in shock. The displays showed real-time footage from orbit around dozens of different alien homeworlds, and in each image, sleek black ships that none of them had ever seen before hung silently in space, watching and waiting. These are live feeds from your home systems, Hyunwoo announced calmly. I thought you might want to see what has been happening while you were gathered here. A delegate from the Crystalline Union stood up so quickly that his chair toppled over. This is impossible. Our sensors would have detected any approaching vessels. Our defense networks are the most advanced in the galaxy. Your sensors are indeed impressive, Hyunwoo agreed. But they can only detect what they are designed to look for. These ships use technology that your sensors cannot comprehend. On the display, the mysterious vessels seemed to shimmer and fade, becoming almost transparent before solidifying again. The aliens, watching, realized with growing horror that these ships could become completely invisible at will. The Senate leader's form flashed through rapid color changes, indicating extreme distress. How many ships are there? Where did they come from? There are enough, Hyunwoo replied. As for where they came from, you helped us build them. Every piece of alien technology you have shared with humanity over the past 5 years, every diplomatic gift, every trade agreement, every cultural exchange, all of it taught us something new. Dr. Minho's voice suddenly filled the chamber, transmitted from Earth. Greetings, Galactic Senate. This is Dr. Minho, head of Earth's Theoretical Weapons Division. I want to thank you all for your generous contributions to human scientific advancement. The display shifted to show technical diagrams that made the alien scientists in the chamber gasp in disbelief. Advanced propulsion systems that combined principles from 12 different species. Energy weapons that used crystalline focusing technology, borrowed from the Vega world stealth systems based on quantum principles discovered in Outer Ring archives. You see, Dr. Minho continued, humans have a unique approach to learning. When we encounter technology, we do not understand, we take it apart, study every component, and then improve upon the original design. Your gifts became our textbooks. An insectoid delegate from the spiral arm clicked its mandibles nervously. But our technology was given for peaceful purposes, cultural and scientific exchange. And we used it peacefully, Hyunwoo assured him. We used it to ensure that peace would be maintained. These ships you see are not invasion forces, they are peacekeepers. The Senate leader regained enough composure to speak. What do you want? Why are you showing us this? Because you made several critical errors in your assessment of humanity, Hyunwoo explained. First, you assumed that our military capabilities were limited to what you could observe. Second, you assumed that we were not already aware of your plans. Third, you assumed that we had not been preparing for this conversation since the day we joined the galactic community. Captain Ye-jin's voice joined the transmission from her flagship, hidden in the asteroid belt surrounding the Senate station. Honored delegates, this is Captain Ye-jin of the Earth Reconnaissance Fleet. For the past 18 months, my ships have been mapping every major installation in your territories. We know the location of your shipyards, the composition of your fleets, and the vulnerabilities in your defensive systems. The implications hit the assembled aliens like a physical blow. Every secret military base, every hidden weapon, every classified defense protocol had been observed and catalogued by invisible human ships that had moved through their space undetected. But most importantly, Hyunwoo continued, you assumed that we were afraid of you. The holographic display changed again, showing a small asteroid floating near the Senate station. The rock was unremarkable, just another piece of cosmic debris drifting through space. But as the aliens watched, the asteroid simply vanished. Not destroyed, not moved somewhere else, but completely erased from existence as if it had never been there at all. The chamber erupted in panicked chatter as alien delegates realized what they had just witnessed. The complete annihilation of matter was beyond their understanding of physics. Several species had theoretical frameworks for such technology, but none had ever achieved it. That asteroid has been removed from the universe using principles that your scientists have theorized about, but never successfully implemented. Admiral Seung-ho's voice explained from Earth Defense Command. We could have targeted your station instead, your homeworlds or your fleets, but humans prefer to demonstrate our capabilities rather than use them destructively. The Senate leader's crystalline form had turned a deep purple color that indicated terror. This is impossible. Your species has only been spacefaring for a few centuries. Precisely, Hyunwoo said with a smile. In just a few centuries, we went from primitive hunter-gatherers to a galactic civilization. Most species take tens of thousands of years to achieve what we accomplished in mere millennia. Did you really think we would be unprepared for galactic politics, Intelligence Director? So Young's voice added another layer to the revelation. Our analysis of your civilization shows that most of you have been technologically stagnant for centuries. You became comfortable with your achievements and stopped pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Humans never stop innovating, never stop improving, never stop preparing for the next challenge. The display showed comparative technological advancement charts that told a sobering story. While most alien civilizations had plateaued at certain levels of development, humanity's curve showed exponential growth that showed no signs of slowing. We studied your histories, your cultures, your technologies, and your military doctrines. Hyunwoo explained. We learned that most galactic conflicts follow predictable patterns. Older civilizations try to control younger ones through intimidation and threats. We decided to change that pattern. A delegate from the Binary Stars Alliance found the courage to speak. What are your intentions? Do you plan to conquer us? Conquest is inefficient. Hyunwoo replied, it requires constant resources to maintain control over unwilling populations, and it creates endless cycles of rebellion and retaliation. Humans prefer cooperation to conquest. The holographic display shifted once more, showing construction images of a massive space station being built in a previously empty star system. The structure was enormous, larger than most cities, and designed with architecture that incorporated elements from dozens of different species. This is Haven Station, Hyunwoo announced. A neutral meeting ground where all species can gather without fear of attack or political pressure. Humanity will provide security and maintain the facility, but all species will be welcome to use it. General Tai Min's tactical analysis appeared on the display. Every government represented in this chamber has ongoing conflicts with neighbors, resource disputes, or internal civil wars. Haven Station will provide a place to resolve these issues through negotiation, rather than warfare. You are offering to police the galaxy. The Senate leader asked, his colors shifting to confused swirls of blue and green. We are offering to prevent the galaxy from destroying itself. Hyunwoo corrected. Humans understand conflict, because we have experienced every possible form of it on our own world. We also understand peace because we have learned that cooperation achieves better results than competition. The chamber fell silent as the aliens absorbed what they had been, told their threat had been turned into an opportunity, their ultimatum had become an invitation, and their attempt to subjugate humanity had revealed just how thoroughly they had been outmaneuvered. So what happens now? Asked a delegate from the outer rings. Hyunwoo smiled the same calm, confident smile that had puzzled them a week earlier. Now we begin building something better than what came before. The revelation sent shockwaves through the galactic community that rippled outward at faster than light speed. Emergency sessions convened on dozens of worlds as alien governments tried to understand how completely they had misjudged humanity. The comfortable assumptions that had guided galactic politics for millennia lay in ruins. In the Senate chamber, The silence stretched on as delegates struggled to process what they had witnessed. Some stared at the holographic displays showing human ships around their home worlds. Others frantically tried to contact their governments to confirm what they were seeing. A few simply sat in stunned disbelief, unable to accept that their carefully planned intimidation had backfired so spectacularly. Ambassador Hyunwoo waited patiently for the initial shock to wear off. He had expected this reaction and knew that the real work of diplomacy was just beginning. The aliens needed time to understand their new reality before they could begin making rational decisions about the future. "I know this is difficult to accept," he finally said, his voice cutting through the murmurs and whispers filling the chamber. "Your intelligence services told you that humanity was a minor threat that could be easily controlled. You planned this confrontation based on incomplete information." The Senate leader managed to stabilize his color patterns enough to speak. "Our intelligence was thorough. We monitored your military installations, tracked your ship movements, analyzed your defensive capabilities. You monitored what we wanted you to see." Hyunwoo corrected gently. "Every major human installation has been designed with multiple layers. One layer visible to your sensors, and at least two more that remain hidden. We have been preparing for this conversation since the day we joined the galactic community." Captain Yejin's detailed reconnaissance reports began flowing across the holographic displays information that should have been impossible for humans to gather appeared before the alien delegates with casual efficiency. Fleet compositions that were supposed to be classified strategic weaknesses that were considered state secrets, economic dependencies that were carefully hidden from galactic view the vegan crystalline union. Hyunwoo noted as the relevant data appeared, "Depends entirely on energy shipments from 3 mining worlds in the Centauri Reach. Your entire civilization would collapse within 6 months if those shipments were interrupted." The vegan delegate's crystalline form flashed bright red. "That information is classified at the highest levels. How could you possibly know? Your energy freighters are not as well shielded as you believe." Captain Yejin's voice replied. From her invisible flagship, "My reconnaissance teams have been monitoring galactic shipping patterns for 2 years. We know every major trade route, every critical supply line, and every strategic choke point in 47 different star systems." The display shifted to show the Outer Ring Confederation's military data. "Your fleet is impressive, but every ship uses the same type of fuel manufactured on exactly one heavily defended planet. Destroy that single facility and your entire military becomes worthless scrap metal." The Outer Ring delegate's tentacles writhed in distress. "This is espionage of the highest order. You have violated every principle of diplomatic immunity. We have violated nothing." Dr. Heejin's voice joined the conversation. From her laboratory on Earth, "Every piece of information we possess was gathered through legitimate means. Your own trade delegations gave us detailed technical specifications when they tried to sell us fuel and equipment. Your cultural exchanges included tours of facilities you thought were too primitive for us to understand." The aliens were beginning to realize the full scope of their mistake. Every diplomatic contact, every trade negotiation, every cultural exchange had been a learning opportunity for humanity. The humans had appeared eager and naive, asking endless questions about alien technology and civilization. What the aliens had seen as charming curiosity had actually been systematic intelligence gathering. But the most significant error, Hyunwoo continued, was assuming that humanity would respond to threats the way other species do. Most galactic civilizations, when faced with overwhelming force, either surrender immediately or fight desperately and lose humans. "Do something different." Admiral Seung-ho's voice carried from Earth Defense Command. "When humans are threatened, we become creative. We find solutions that our enemies cannot predict or counter. We turn disadvantages into advantages and use our opponents' strengths against them." The holographic display showed a new image that made several alien delegates gasp in recognition. It was a detailed schematic of the Senate leader's personal flagship, showing systems and capabilities that were supposed to be known only to the ship's designers. "We know that your flagship carries experimental weapons that could destroy a planet," Hyunwoo observed. "We also know that those weapons have a critical flaw in their power coupling system. Fire them at full Power and your own ship will be destroyed by the feedback. The Senate leader's form flickered through rapid color changes. How could you possibly know that the design specifications have never left our most secure facilities? Your ship's computer systems communicate with galactic navigation networks every time you travel. Intelligence Director So Young explained, those communications carry more information than you realize, including diagnostic data that reveals system vulnerabilities. Human computer specialists have been analyzing galactic data networks for 5 years. The implications were staggering. The aliens had not just underestimated human military capabilities, they had completely failed to understand human methods of gathering and analyzing information. Every alien government in the chamber was realizing that their most carefully guarded secrets were probably already known to human intelligence services. This is all very impressive, said a delegate from the Binary Stars Alliance. But what do you intend to do with this information? Are you planning to use it against us? That depends entirely on you. Hyunwoo replied, humans prefer cooperation to conflict, but we will defend ourselves if necessary. Your ultimatum demanded our complete disarmament and submission to alien oversight. We offer a counter-proposal. The holographic display changed again, showing the massive space station that was under construction. The structure was taking shape rapidly. With construction crews working around the clock to complete it, alien observers could see that the station incorporated architectural elements and technologies from dozens of different species. Haven Station will serve as a neutral meeting ground, where all species can gather safely, Hyunwoo explained. No weapons will be permitted on the station. No government will have territorial claims. Human peacekeepers will maintain security, but all species will have equal access to the facilities. General Taeman's strategic analysis appeared alongside the construction images. Current galactic conflicts cost trillions of credits annually and have resulted in the deaths of billions of sentient beings. Most of these conflicts could be resolved through negotiation if the parties had a safe place to meet. You are proposing to replace the Galactic Senate, the Senate leader asked. We are proposing to supplement it, Hyunwoo corrected. The Senate serves an important function as a forum for galactic governance, but it has proven ineffective at preventing or resolving conflicts. Haven Station will focus specifically on dispute resolution and peacekeeping. Engineer Dong Hyun's technical specifications joined the presentation. The station will be equipped with the most advanced communication systems in the galaxy, allowing real-time translation between hundreds of languages. It will have research facilities where scientists from different species can work together on problems that affect everyone. Dr. Minho added his own analysis. Many of the galaxy's current problems stem from misunderstandings between species that have different ways of thinking and communicating. Haven Station will provide a place where these differences can be explored and resolved. The alien delegates were beginning to understand that this was not a conquest or a threat. It was an offer of partnership from a species that had proven it could destroy them all if it chose to. The humans were offering to use their overwhelming technological advantages to benefit everyone rather than to dominate. What guarantees do we have that humans will not abuse this position? Asked a delegate from the Spiral Arm Collective. The same guarantee that prevents us from abusing it now, Admiral Seung-ho replied. Humans understand that power without legitimacy is unstable and ultimately self-defeating. We want to create a system that benefits everyone because that is the only way to ensure long-term peace. President Ji-won's voice joined the conversation for the first time, transmitted directly from Earth. Honored delegates, I want to speak to you not as a military leader or a politician, but as a parent. I have children who will inherit whatever galaxy we create. Today I want that galaxy to be a place where all species can thrive together. The personal touch had an immediate effect on many of the alien delegates. Several species had similar concepts of family and child rearing, and they understood the motivation behind the president's words. Humans have spent our entire history learning hard lessons about cooperation and conflict. President Ji-won continued, we have made every possible mistake in dealing with other groups, and we have learned from all of them. We offer to share those lessons with you. The Senate leader's colors had slowly shifted from angry reds and confused blues tea. 6 months had passed since that fateful day in the Senate chamber, when humanity had turned the tables on the entire galaxy. Haven Station now floated serenely in the neutral space between major star systems, its gleaming hull reflecting the light of distant stars. The massive structure bustled with activity as representatives from hundreds of species gathered for its official opening ceremony. President Jiwan stood on the station's main observation deck, watching as diplomatic shuttles from across the galaxy docked at the numerous bays scattered around the station's outer ring. Each ship brought delegates who just months ago had been preparing for war against humanity. Now they came seeking cooperation and partnership. Beside her ambassador, Hyunwoo reviewed the day's schedule on a holographic display. The list of meetings, negotiations, and ceremonies seemed endless, but each item represented another step toward a more peaceful galaxy. Former enemies were sitting down together to resolve conflicts that had raged for centuries. The former Senate leader, whose crystalline form now glowed with the soft blue colors that indicated respect and admiration, approached them across the deck. His movements were more graceful now, less rigid than they had been during the confrontation 6 months earlier. "I must admit, President Jiwan," he said as he joined them at the viewing window, "my species severely underestimated both your capabilities and your intentions. We expected conquest and received partnership. We prepared for war and discovered peace." President Jiwan smiled as she watched a group of young beings from various species working together on a research project in one of the station's laboratories. Most species make that mistake about humans. We have learned that being underestimated is often an advantage. It allows us to exceed expectations. Below them, in the station's central plaza, delegates from species that had been at war for centuries sat around negotiation tables, working out the details of peace treaties. Human mediators moved between the groups, offering suggestions and keeping discussions focused on solutions rather than past grievances. Captain Ye Jin, who now served as Haven Station's head of security, walked past leading a mixed patrol of humans and aliens. Her team included former enemies who had volunteered to serve as peacekeepers. The sight of traditional adversaries working together to maintain order would have been unthinkable just months earlier. "Your people have an unusual approach to diplomacy," observed a delegate from the Spiral Arm Collective who had joined the group at the viewing window. "You demonstrate overwhelming force and then immediately offer to share the benefits of that force with everyone else." Admiral Sung Ho, who now commanded Haven Station's defense fleet, arrived to join the conversation. His ships patrolled the neutral zone around the station, ensuring that no government could use military pressure to influence negotiations. The fleet included vessels from multiple species, all working under human command. Humans learned something important early in our history. Admiral Seung Ho explained, "The strongest position is not the one where you can defeat all enemies, but the one where you have no enemies at all. When others benefit from your success, they help you maintain it." In the research sections of the station, Dr. Min Ho and Dr. Hae Jin worked alongside alien scientists, sharing technologies that had been closely guarded secrets just months earlier. The combination of human innovation with alien knowledge was producing breakthroughs at a rate that amazed everyone involved. The most fascinating aspect of this collaboration, Dr. Min Ho told a group of young researchers from various species, is that each species brings unique perspectives to problem-solving. Humans excel at adapting and improving existing technologies, but other species have insights we would never develop on our own. A young crystalline scientist whose form sparkled with the excited patterns of discovery raised one of her crystal appendages. "Dr. Min Ho, could you explain how humans achieved such rapid technological advancement in such a short time?" "Fear," Dr. Min Ho replied with a grin. "Humans do their best work when they are afraid. Our planet taught us that standing still means death, so we never stop moving forward, never stop innovating, never stop preparing for whatever challenge comes next." Dr. Hee-jin added her own perspective, "But fear alone is not enough. Fear must be balanced with hope. We innovate because we are afraid, but we share our innovations because we hope for a better future." The research projects underway on Haven Station represented that balance. Technologies that could have been used as weapons were instead being developed for peaceful purposes. Energy systems that could power planetary defense networks were being adapted to provide clean power for civilian populations. Engineer Dong-hyun supervised construction crews that were already working on expansions to the station. The original structure had proven so popular that additional sections were needed to accommodate all the species wanting to participate. Representatives from civilizations that had never worked together before were requesting joint facilities. How many species have requested permanent representation? President Ji-won asked as she reviewed the latest reports. 147 so far. Dong-hyun replied. We are receiving new applications every day. Some species that we have never encountered before have sent ambassadors just to see what we have built here. The success of Haven Station was creating a ripple effect throughout the galaxy. Trade disputes that had seemed unsolvable were being resolved in weeks. Border conflicts that had raged for decades were ending with negotiated settlements. Resource wars that had consumed entire star systems were being replaced by cooperative development projects. Intelligence Director So Young joined them with her daily briefing. But the reports she carried now focused on cooperation rather than conflict. Galaxy-wide military spending has decreased by 30% in the past 6 months, she reported. Trade between species that were previously hostile has increased by over 200%. Most conflicts are now being resolved through negotiation rather than warfare. The former Senate leader listened to these reports with something approaching wonder. In all our histories, no single action has had such a dramatic impact on galactic stability. How did you know this would work? We did not know, President Ji-won admitted. But humans have learned that sometimes you must take risks to achieve great things. We could have used our technological advantages to conquer or intimidate, but we chose to build something better instead. As if to emphasize her point, alerts began coming in from across the galaxy, but these were not warnings of conflicts or emergencies. They were reports of successful negotiations, completed trade agreements, and new cooperative ventures launching between species that had been enemies just months earlier. A messenger from the communication center approached with the latest summary. Ma'am, we have reports of 17 major conflicts resolved this week alone. The Outer Ring Confederation and the Binary Stars Alliance have just signed a mutual defense pact. 3 species in the Vega sector have agreed to share mining rights that they have been fighting over for 2 centuries. Ambassador Hyun-woo smiled as he read through the reports. The aliens tried to force us into submission and instead created the most peaceful period. In galactic history, the irony is almost too perfect. A group of young beings from various species approached the observation deck, led by a human child and an alien youngster who had become friends during their family's diplomatic assignments. The sight of children from different species playing together without any awareness of their people's historical conflicts represented hope for the future. What will you teach them about this time? The former Senate leader asked as he watched the mixed group of youngsters. The truth, President Ji-won replied, that their parents' generation learned to choose cooperation over conflict, that they worked together to build something better than what came before, and that the future belongs to those who can see beyond the divisions of the past. Captain Ye-jin approached with her final security report of the day. All sectors secure. Ma'am, no incidents to report. The overnight shift includes peacekeepers from 12 different species, all working together to maintain order. As night fell across Haven Station, the structure continued to buzz with activity. Negotiations continued in conference rooms. Scientists collaborated in laboratories. Engineers planned new construction projects, and peacekeepers from dozens of species patrolled corridors that had become symbols of galactic unity. The galaxy will never be the same, Admiral Sung-ho observed as he prepared to return to his flagship. That was the point, President Ji-won replied. Change was inevitable. The question was whether that change would come through conquest and destruction, or through cooperation and growth. We chose growth. The former Senate leader prepared to return to his own quarters, but paused for one final observation. Your species has accomplished something remarkable. You turned your greatest threat into your greatest opportunity. No, Hyun-woo corrected gently. We turned everyone's greatest threat into everyone's greatest opportunity. The galaxy belongs to all of us now. As they dispersed to their various duties, the lights of Haven Station continued to shine in the darkness, a beacon of hope in a galaxy that had learned to choose peace over war. The aliens had tried to disarm humanity and, instead, had armed the entire galaxy with something far more powerful than weapons: the knowledge that working together was always better than fighting alone.